Power, betrayal, revenge, three words that ruled every move in Madam's world. But as Season 5 of All the Queen's Men approaches, one thing is clear. The game has changed. The Queen's empire is no longer untouchable. The streets are whispering, her allies are questioning, and enemies she thought were buried are back from the shadows. This is not just another season. It's a war for the throne. It all begins in silence, the kind that feels like a warning before thunder strikes. Season 4 ended with Madame standing alone, her empire hanging by a thread. The camera caught that look in her eyes, cold yet broken, the look of a woman who had lost everything but her will to fight. The nightclub lights had faded, the music had died down, and all that remained was the echo of betrayal. The empire she built with blood and brilliance was no longer safe. Someone inside had turned against her, and that betrayal would become the heartbeat of Season 5. In the trailer, everything feels heavier, darker. The world Madame once ruled now feels like it's watching her fall. The luxury cars, the gold, the glamour, they all look different when power starts slipping away. The once loyal faces around her are now unreadable, hiding secrets behind forced smiles. You can almost feel her paranoia growing with each passing second. Every glance could be a threat. Every silence could mean a plot. Madame knows it too. Trust is dead, and survival is the only rule left. The trailer doesn't rush. It moves like a slow burn, teasing moments that shake the audience. We see flashes of the past, men who once swore loyalty, now shaking hands in the dark. Money being passed under tables, police cars speeding through the night. And in the middle of it all, Madame, standing tall, wearing power like armor. But even armor cracks under pressure. And that's the story the season wants to tell. The rise of a queen who built an empire with steel. And the fall that threatens to expose every weakness she's ever tried to hide. Her voice cuts through the chaos, calm, controlled, dangerous. If they want a war, she says, then they'll remember who started it. That line alone sets the tone for everything that's coming. It's not just about survival anymore. It's about control. Control over the streets, control over her men, and control over her legacy. And this time, the fight isn't just outside. It's inside her circle, inside her mind, inside her own home. The visuals in the trailer echo this inner war. Shadows dance across the screen, a blend of luxury and violence. A glass of champagne spills like blood. A gun placed neatly beside designer purse. A smile that hides 1,000 lies. Each image says the same thing. Nothing is as it seems. The Queen's world is about to be tested like never before. As the tension builds, the music rises, low drums, soft piano, and then a sharp silence before the next scene cuts in. It's symbolic, almost poetic. The silence speaks louder than words. It reminds us that Madame's enemies aren't always loud. Some strike from the quiet, from behind, from the heart. And when the lights flash again, we see her not broken, not scared, but reborn. Her eyes tell us she's ready. Ready to fight. Ready to reclaim what's hers. Ready to make everyone who betrayed her regret they ever played this game. The trailer closes its first act with fire, literal fire. A car explodes in the night as Madame walks away without looking back. Her heels click on the pavement, echoing through the smoke. It's the sound of power returning. The sound of a woman who refuses to be forgotten. The sound of a queen reminding the world that she still rules even when everything burns. And just when it seems like we've seen it all, one last shot changes everything. A door opens. A familiar silhouette steps through, someone the audience thought was gone forever. The camera lingers on Madame's face as she whispers, "I should have known you'd come back." The screen fades to black. The words Season 5, coming 2026 appear, followed by the haunting beat that fans recognize instantly. The message is clear. This isn't the end of the empire. It's the rebirth of it. The queen has fallen before, but this time, she's rising for vengeance. The game is no longer about who's on top. It's about who's willing to burn everything to stay there. The streets never forget. And neither does the Queen. Season 5 opened its doors to a city wrapped in silence, the kind of silence that hides screams. The air feels heavier, the lights dimmer, and the trust that once held Madam's empire together has turned into quicksand. The trailer wastes no time reminding us that power attracts betrayal like blood attracts sharks. Everyone wants a piece of her throne, and this season, those closest to her might just be the ones sharpening the knives. The trailer's middle act hits differently. It's not about chaos this time. It's about control slipping through her hands, inch by inch. We see Madame watching her people through security cameras, her face unreadable, her eyes scanning for weakness. One moment, she's surrounded by luxury, glass walls, gold accents, laughter echoing through her penthouse. The next, we see her reflection fractured in the glass, a queen divided between fear and fury. It's powerful symbolism. The empire that once mirrored her strength is now mirroring her uncertainty. There's a scene where Blue enters the frame, loyal, steady, but visibly torn. The tension between them is thick, unspoken, and painful. Blue's loyalty has always been Madame's anchor, but now it feels like a question mark. Has the Queen pushed her too far? Or is Blue the only one who still sees the woman behind the power? The trailer doesn't answer, it just lets the silence linger, making viewers question everything they thought they knew. Then comes the twist, a flash of a new player. A man in a tailored suit, stepping out of a black car under neon lights. His face stays in shadow, but his presence commands the frame. He's calm, calculated, and dangerous in the quietest way possible. The whispers say he's from the past, a ghost with unfinished business. The way he moves, the way people lower their eyes when he walks by, says it all. This isn't just another rival. This is someone who knows Madame, her secrets, her weaknesses, her bloodline. And if the trailer's tension means anything, he's not coming for her crown. He's coming for her soul. We catch glimpses of the war brewing underneath the surface. Money changing hands. Hidden alliances. A city split between loyalty and greed. The Queen's soldiers are restless, her enemies confident. And in the middle of it all, Madame stands like a statue, untouchable, yet crumbling inside. You can almost feel the exhaustion in her movements, the way she pauses before giving orders, the faint tremor in her hand as she lifts her drink. Power has a price, and Season 5 shows us exactly how high it can climb before it takes everything. But just when the tension becomes unbearable, the trailer delivers one of its most haunting images, a candlelit room filled with photographs. Every face on the wall is someone Madame once trusted. Some are dead, some are missing, and some are still very much alive. A red line connects them all like a web, with Madame's picture at the center. Someone is hunting her, not just for her empire, but for every sin she's ever buried. The walls seem to close in, the shadows stretch longer, and the soundtrack fades into a chilling whisper that almost sounds like a heartbeat. There's no glamour left in this world, only survival. The diamonds, the silk dresses, the champagne, all of it now feels like armor she can barely keep on. The Queen who once ruled by fear now has to fight by instinct. The empire that bowed before her is now questioning her every move. The betrayal isn't loud or dramatic. It's slow, patient, like poison seeping through the cracks. The kind of betrayal that doesn't stab. It SUFFOCATS. And yet, even in this spiral of chaos, Madame refuses to break. There's a quiet strength in her stillness, a cold fire in her stare. The trailer shows her sitting alone in a dark room, the city skyline glowing behind her. Her phone lights up one message, "You're next." She doesn't flinch. She just smirks. That single moment tells fans everything. The Queen isn't scared. She's ready. The music swells again, deep, pulsing, relentless. We see guns being loaded, deals being made, and enemies rising from the ashes. Every shot feels personal. Every glance holds history. The world Madame built is burning, and she's the one holding the match. The final shot of this section shows her walking through the ruins of one of her clubs, smoke curling around her as her voice echoes faintly. "They forgot who I am," and just like that, the screen cuts to black. No explosions, no screams, no chaos, just silence. The kind of silence that promises war. Season 5 isn't just about who wins. It's about who survives when loyalty dies. The queen may be outnumbered, but she's not outplayed. Not yet. The calm is over. The silence that once filled the air has now turned into thunder. The queen is no longer waiting, she's moving. Season 5's mid-trailer explodes into motion, a rush of fire and fury that feels like the storm everyone feared was coming. Madame has been cornered, betrayed, and bruised, but now she's dangerous in a way the world has never seen. The trailer shifts from whispers and shadows to a symphony of chaos, gunfire, roaring engines, and the pulse of war drums echoing beneath every frame. Madame's voice cuts through it all, cold, focused, commanding. They took my peace, she says. Now I'll take their world. That single line sets the tone for everything that follows. The queen's wrath isn't loud, it's precise, deliberate, and unstoppable. We see her gather her allies, what's left of them, in a dimly lit room. The camera circles them slowly, catching the tension in their faces. The trailer then dives into a sequence of pure adrenaline. Madame walks through a corridor, her heels clicking in rhythm with a heartbeat-like soundtrack. The lights flicker as if the world itself trembles at her return. She's dressed in black, not mourning, but declaring war. Her enemies thought she was broken, but this time, she's not just defending her empire. She's rewriting the rules of the game. Every glance, every move, every word carries the weight of someone who has lost too much to ever fear loss again. A powerful moment flashes across the screen, Madame standing face to face with the new villain. The man who haunted her past now stands inches away, his smirk dripping with arrogance. Their silence says more than dialogue ever could. You can almost feel years of pain, betrayal, and unfinished business boiling between them. He tells her, "You built this world, but I own it now." She doesn't even blink. Her reply is soft, but lethal. "Then I guess it's time to take it back." The screen cuts to black right after, leaving the audience holding their breath. This section of the trailer is all about rebirth through rage. We see Madame training, strategizing, and reclaiming her control piece by piece. She's no longer the glamorous ruler hiding behind luxury. She's a warrior forged in betrayal. Every flashback, every scar, every decision leads her to this point where fear no longer exists, and revenge becomes a language she speaks fluently. The city that once bowed to her now burns because of her. And the look in her eyes says she wouldn't have it any other way. The cinematography amplifies this transformation. The lighting changes, gone are the gold tones and champagne glimmers. Now it's blue neon, ash gray, and deep red. The visuals feel like a heartbeat, fast and erratic, matching the chaos unfolding. We see Madame's men preparing for war, counting cash, loading weapons, and burning evidence. One of them says, "We can't win this." She turns, eyes cold as glass, and answers, "Then we don't lose, we make them bleed." That moment lands like a punch. It's not about victory anymore. It's about message and legacy. In between the chaos, the trailer gives a glimpse of Madame's softer side, fleeting moments of humanity buried under layers of control. A scene of her sitting by a window, holding a photograph, her hand trembling for the first time. Maybe it's guilt, maybe it's grief, or maybe it's the calm before another ruthless decision. That balance between vulnerability and violence is what makes her character so powerful. She's not just fighting to keep her throne. She's fighting to keep her soul from being consumed by the very power she built. Then, in one of the most gripping visuals of the entire trailer, we see Madame walking through an abandoned warehouse, the same place where everything began years ago. The camera pans around her as ghostly echoes of the past whisper in the air. Old enemies, lost friends, the empire she once dreamed of. The ghosts remind her of what's at stake. The soundtrack fades into a low hum as she says, "I gave everything to build this. Now I'll give nothing to protect it." It's the moment where the queen is reborn, not as a ruler, but as vengeance itself. The final shots of this section are pure cinematic poetry. Flames rise in slow motion as Madame stands before them, her expression unreadable. In the background, sirens wail, police lights flash, and chaos consumes the night. But she stands still, a shadow crowned by fire. The trailer's music swelled, violins meeting deep bass, and her voice echoes one last time. You can take my throne, but you'll never take my crown. The screen fades to black again, but this time, it doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a warning. The Queen's wrath is no longer a rumor, it's a reckoning. Season 5 isn't about rebuilding. It's about reminding everyone why they feared her name in the first place. The Empire may have cracked, but the Queen is far from done. The world that tried to bury her is about to learn. When a queen falls, she rises sharper. The trailer's final act begins not with noise, but with silence, the kind that feels sacred before destruction. A soft piano note breaks the quiet, slow and haunting, like the echo of everything Madame has lost. The camera drifts through the aftermath of her empire, shattered glass, empty bottles, walls painted with shadows of what used to be. It's not just a building in ruins, it's a kingdom stripped bare. And in the middle of the wreckage, the Queen stands alone, staring at the ashes like they're old memories refusing to fade. This is not defeat. This is transformation. For a moment, the world seems still. No soldiers, no sirens, no chaos, just Madame and the consequences of her own power. The trailer lingers here, giving the audience a glimpse behind her armor. The woman who once ruled through fear now carries that fear within her. Her reflection in a broken mirror shows two sides, the ruler and the survivor. One is tired. The other refuses to die. That duality defines the heart of Season 5, how power saves you and how it destroys you. But just as the stillness begins to feel heavy, the tempo shifts again. The lights return, flashing red and blue. Police raids, rival gangs, old debts resurfacing. The storm Madame unleashed has spread beyond her control. Every empire, no matter how strong, collapses under its own weight, and hers is no exception. Her enemies are closing in, and for the first time, the Queen isn't sure if she wants to keep fighting or simply burn it all down with her inside. The audience feels that tension, that fragile space between surrender and vengeance. Then comes one of the most striking moments of the entire trailer, Madame walking into a dark warehouse where all her remaining allies wait. The air is thick with distrust. Every face tells a story: loyalty, greed, regret, survival. They speak of a final move, a dangerous one, a plan that could either save them or destroy them all. Madame listens in silence. She knows the cost. She knows what's waiting on the other side. And when she finally speaks, her voice is quiet but cuts like glass. If I go down, I'm taking my crown with me. The next sequence erupts in motion, fast cuts of betrayal and revenge. A trusted ally aiming a gun. A car chase through the city's rain-soaked streets. The mysterious rival pulling strings from behind tinted glass. Madame, wounded but unbroken, walking through chaos like it was designed for her. The trailer plays with rhythm here, slow motion and speed, chaos and calm, giving the sense that this isn't just a fight for survival anymore. It's a cleansing. A final act of defiance written in smoke and fire. And then, the twist no one expects. The man from Madame's past, the one who returned to haunt her, turns out to be more than just an enemy. He's the one who built her empire's foundation in the shadows, the ghost behind the throne all along. His goal isn't to kill her, it's to reclaim what he believes he created. The truth lands like an explosion. Everything Madame believed about loyalty, love, and legacy collapses in one revelation. The Queen wasn't betrayed by strangers. She was betrayed by her own origin. The visuals during this reveal are breathtaking. A slow pan across the city skyline, once a symbol of her dominance, now a reflection of her downfall. The lights flicker like dying stars as thunder rolls in the distance. The soundtrack shifts from orchestral power to a single, beating drum steady, relentless, like the sound of time running out. The Queen's empire is gone, but her spirit remains unshaken. Her eyes, cold and clear, lock onto the horizon as she makes her choice. She won't let anyone write the ending for her. The trailer builds toward its crescendo, Madam's final stand. Flames rise behind her as she walks toward the camera. Her face is calm, her stride unbroken. Every frame screams power reclaimed. The city burns, the past dies, and the queen ascends through the chaos like a phoenix made of ambition and rage. Her voice narrates the closing line, soft and chilling. They thought the crown made me powerful. They were wrong. The fire did. The screen fades to black. A heartbeat echoes in the distance. Then one final image appears, a crown lying in the ashes, glowing faintly like an ember refusing to die. The words All the Queen's Men Season 5, coming 2026 appear in bold, golden letters across the darkness. But even as the music fades, one last whisper lingers, Madame's voice. Low and dangerous. You can't kill a legacy. The screen cuts to silence. No outro music. No comfort. Just the echo of her words hanging in the air, daring the audience to imagine what comes next. This is not just a trailer. It's a declaration. A promise that power never truly dies. It simply changes hands. And as Season 5 approaches, one truth becomes undeniable. The queen may have lost her throne, but she has become something far more terrifying. A legend, a ghost, a fire that refuses to go out.